Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Ultimatum League 3.14. In this episode, I have an update video for the Phantasms. This is getting exciting, I swear, dude. I have a new POB. This shit is looking promising. I actually have the things in game too. The build is basically ready to go. There's just a couple things to go. I want to go through them with you today. And I also want to point out some really cool stuff I found with the Phantasms. I found more. Okay, well, it's kind of Herald of Purity stuff in general. So I'm going to switch to the path of building now. I hope you guys enjoy this. So, I'll turn on the cam for this. This is my path of building planned for the Phantasms. And you go, oh, level 100. Okay, you could take off some life points very easily, right? To go to like 97. That's a more realistic. And it's 52, 53 life, and it doesn't even have a glove, a boot, and the belt has no stats. The amulet can be multied. It's just life. I have this exact Ami. The chest plate can have an Aisling slam, an Ashling slam. This is the helmet that I have in game. And then I show that I have these two scepters, so you can get plus spell skill gems, plus physical spell skill gems, and then multi. And I show that it's actually more damage than a cold iron point. So technically I could do my higher level meme, but another scepter is just better. It's not that much better. The cold iron point's actually really good, but I like this a little bit better. So that's a thing. And then for the jewels, instead of the life, damage, minion attack speed, and minion physical damage, I've just isolated it to life and minion damage. And oh, I missed one apparently. My bad. Yeah, life and minion damage. The attack speed mod is the same. So when minions gain attack speed, if they've killed recently, same. It's about the same damage in this build with the scaling and everything. So I wanted to go over a bunch of stuff I've decided to do, but it all started with this. I found out that the Circle of Guilt, the ring for the Herald of Purity, I use it with the Herald of Purity reduce reservation and the Sentinels of Purity deal increased damage. Now, in POB, when you have one of these rings, so I'll give this one as an example, and I'll copy and I'll paste a new one. Okay, so when you do the Catalyst and you do Fertile, it actually shows that it gives 24% reduced reservation. But this doesn't actually work. It doesn't do reduced reservation, and so I'll show you in game. I put life and mana on this one. It's only 20% reduced reservation. It doesn't actually work, so POB is broken. And so I thought I had 24. I only have 20. But then I also realized that basically, to put this together, the helmet has 30% reduced reservation, and then another 20 from each ring, so this is 70% reduced reservation cost of the Herald of Purity, and then it actually stacks additively with the rest of the stuff on, I have a trade, dude. I gotta make, okay, it stacks additively with the stuff on the skill tree, so this is 14%. And then I anointed this Champion of the Cause for 4%, which I guess actually I would anoint the Charisma because it's just better. And I was actually, okay, a couple things here. If you looked at my last Phantasm build, I showed coming down here, getting this jewel socket to use Might of the Meek to increase this reservation to 6%, and I came down to this jewel socket and I used Intuitive Leap to get to the Charisma and the reduced reservation, but I found out that if I just I took out Skitterbots, and by doing that I could save a lot of mana, and then it was really easy to fit all the stuff, which now I think that I won't even need this Enlighten, and we can just anoint Charisma for 2 gold and 1 opalescent instead of the Champion of the Cause. I'll probably do that instead. And then we were able to take a ton of extra life. So we're actually at a very decent life pool. And I decided to not use Blessed Rebirth where minions created recently are immune, because I noticed that the Herald of Purity had 179,000 life, and so if you go in here, the Herald of Purity is very tanky. Whoops, that's the Phantasm. The Herald of Purity is very tanky. So Herald of Purity does with the normal stuff on the skill tree, so Sacrifice, Indom Army, and Grave Intentions node. This is enough resistance. They get the physical damage reduction. They can't bleed. They get the Chaos Res. Like, this is solid. I like this a lot. And so then the Phantasms, I figured it's not that bad. 50,000 life is still really good. That's a lot of life. And they'll be attacking. They do a lot of damage. Maybe I'll take one leech node on the skill tree. Maybe I'll take a regen node here. There's technically even potential to go to Death Attunement for the extra Spectre, because I do run Spectres in the build. So in the helmet, my +3 minion life helmet, I have Spectre, Animate Guardian, Life Tap, and Meat Shield. I think about putting the Chaos Golem in here, and we can run 3 golems if I put in an Anima Stone instead of one of these. So that's my idea, and I want to put maybe Corrupted Blood on the Anima Stone, and that's how we'll get Corrupted Blood in the build. So 1 Anima Stone just for the extra golem, so we can run a Chaos Golem, which is equivalent in this to 8 to 9% physical damage reduction, because it gets to level 22, and it gets the extra golem buff effect from going this. This seems really solid to fit the golems in the build, and it's because we have like a level 29 stone golem, level 28 carry-on golem, and then even the chaos golem will be high enough level. It seems really effective, and it squares up some of the weaknesses since we won't be able to craft endurance charges on the rings. But basically with all this, we have like a base, almost a 0 mana cost Herald of Purity because of all the mana reserve. And then I also went for, I already had this large cluster too, because I crafted this yesterday when I was doing some harvest, and I got Call to Slaughter, Renewal, Rotting Claws, and so we could use Call to Slaughter in this build because the minions are created recently, and then they'll have more attack speed and increased move speed. And then when you have Rotting Claws up here, you don't have to take it, so it's a 5-point large cluster. It's really cool, really nice. Technically don't need it, but I like fitting in. I like fitting in a large cluster since we're already here at this outside node, and you can use a cluster in the build. The main reason we were going to do it was to get a medium, but I don't even think I need the medium anymore. I don't think we need it. And so the build's looking insane all around. Like I've shown you most of the stuff that it doesn't even have a belt yet, or the gloves or the boots, and it's already showing this promising. And then on the chest plate, when I craft these, if you notice, active skill gems is a prefix, and the rest of those are suffixes. And so every time I crafted these, I get open prefixes. So this one, 2 open prefixes, 2 open prefixes. I can Ashling Slam the Veil mod from doing my Katarina and getting a 4-star Ashling, and I could get some really cool stuff on the chest plate, like avoid ailments, or I could get % life. These seem really effective, and maybe I'll get a double where I'd get 2 veils. But this one had physical to melee attacks, so you can't do it. So my plan is to double corrupt these and try to get a +1 or a +2 socketed duration gems, because Herald of Purity is a duration physical. So you could get the +2 to duration, and you can get +1 socketed gems, which will then also give an extra level to the Herald of Purity. And then I realized how I'm going to actually do all this, like spawning the minions. So you have to summon Herald of Purity, which requires you to either hit a rare or unique enemy 5 times a second to spawn 1 Sentinel of Purity, and it lasts 12 seconds. They last 12 seconds. I realized, damn, that's a pretty long base duration for Herald of Purity. I don't really like using Blessed Rebirth for this, actually, because they last way too long. And so, so 12 seconds here, and then the Phantasm is 15 seconds. I also figured out if I use a +1 intelligence chestplate, which was this one, if I get +1 level to socketed intelligence, my Divergent Phantasm turns into a 21, So it gets that extra Phantasm without having to buy a 21-23 Divergent Summon Phantasm. It saves me getting that extra level on the Divergent one. So that there aren't any on trade, you can't get it. So this is a great alternative. So the build is looking solid all around. Then we would have, with this, I plan to use Cyclone. And so this is my current setup. I don't know if this is what I'm going to keep, but this is what I put for now. Awaken Brutality, Awaken Melee Fizz, and Fortify. I might do like faster attacks, because against rare or unique enemies, it's not actually about the damage. It's about the attack speed. And then even more so, you might use more minion attack speed jewels, because then you can trigger the Herald of Purity faster. And then my alternative is in the case of I can't kill the monsters because I don't do enough damage with the cyclone. I don't know, maybe I can. 14,000 DPS. Then my alternative is to use a Writhing jar as my first flask. Maybe even use 2 of them. And so I can just press this, summon some worms, kill the worms, summon some Herald of Purities. There's also an option, I'll show you here. The best gem to link with my Cyclone, it says, is Phantasm. And so then I was thinking about it. Well, if you Cyclone Phantasm, and you get a Phantasm, and then the Phantasm does this kind of damage in the Cyclone link, with no links basically supporting it, except for the Brutality. So you take out like Melee Fizz. The Phantasm will you summon it, right? Because you have the 10% chance to summon a Phantasm when supported skills or non-Phantasm minions from supported skills hit a rare or unique enemy. And so that would work. My Cyclone can summon the Phantasms, and then these Phantasms, if they kill, should summon... Maybe it doesn't count. I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it has to be me killing. But my idea was maybe that the Phantasms, we'd have to test it to see if the Phantasms can work to summon the Herald of Purity. But mostly I'm just going to do this and use the Writhing Jar to bypass any awkwardness. And this should work. And then we should be able to square up the resistances through a glove, boot, belt, and the rest of the items being finished up. Because I showed that... technically, we could recraft the helmet. We could get lucky on the suffixes for the astral plate for the double corruption. We were missing the suffix on the Ami, and as we have to multi it. And yeah, the belt. And then these jewels could have extra resistances that I haven't put into the build yet, because I did actually already buy some jewels. And I found, for example, this one has fire resistance. I've also found cold resist, fire res. Found a bunch of options. I grabbed a bunch, have extra just to replace them, maybe even corrupt them for the... What was I going to say? Corrupted blood, yeah. So then I could use that for the corrupted blood instead of an anima stone. And so I have everything already planned. I got the helmet with the Herald of Purity, got the +3. I plan to give you guys the POB like this, what I've already been working on, to show you guys what I have up till now. And so today I want to do, I have June missions, and I already have an Ashling 3 ready to go. So Ashling 3, Mastermind, so I can get an Ashling 4. I also want to run the Alva. I don't have a temple ready right now, but I have 83, and I already have one of these. I have a double corruption ready to go. So I really, Locus of Corruption tier 3. I'm going to double corrupt some chest plates today. We're going to get ourselves closer to this build. I'm going to see what you guys think about the build. Maybe you see some improvements. But I'm really happy with what I've put together. And this should work. How good it's going to be, like how much damage it's going to do. Oh, it's saying like 30 million just Phantasms in POB. And that's with the actual items. No messing around. This is just what it is. And then the survivability of the Spectre and the Animate Guardian should be good because they're in the helmet. With the +3 minion life, they also have, like, my Animate Guardian's level 32. What the fuck is that? Level 32, 28 Spectre, And you can even put meat shield because there's an extra gem in the helmet because we don't have to run zombies. And we can get the feeding frenzy bloodless through the golems. And I was thinking about I want to put the chaos golem in the helmet instead of the meat shield potentially. I haven't put it all together yet. This is just showing you guys what I have. It's more closer to an actual working build now compared to what I had. And I'm much more happy with this because I've actually been getting the items in game, and then I figured the thing out about the Herald of Purity, which really that makes a big difference. The mana reserve, because I was having, well, I went too much basically. I had too much. I actually had 100% reduced. Whoops. I had 100% reduced cost of the Herald of Purity, and so that's kind of unnecessary. Yeah. So then cutting out the skitter bots and then going less mana reservation saves me it saved me like 20 points. It was ridiculous. And I could still technically get 1% reduced mana jewels and stuff, but this is sick, dude. And so I'd probably change, like I said, the Ami Anoint to where is it? What's that shit called? Charisma? Yes. Let's see how much of a difference charisma makes. Because this will work on all your socketed, not just where the enlighten is just the link that I put it in. And yeah, there you go. I actually have more mana. That's insane, dude. And so then I have 40 mana regen because I also, that's just the base regen, but then I also, in-game, let me show you, I've gotten some jewels. I specifically went for some jewels with mana and mana regen, damage recouped as mana, because I think that possibly I might have, there's more mana, I might have a cyclone issue, where I can't sustain cycloning, but then I think that I don't need to constantly cyclone. I should only have to cyclone to summon them, and so it's like on monsters, on packs when I don't have them, and otherwise I can just keep running, and so that'll be really cool. And if I need to get phasing, then I can use the cyclone. And I like the direction of the build where I go with the actual minions surviving, because then we can put in Spectre and Animate Guardian, and keeping minions alive isn't that bad, to be honest. And then we can actually put golems too. Like if we just went for the minions created recently thing, where it's only Herald of Purity, only Phantasm, I don't like it that much. I like this way better, where it's like a full minion build, and it's actually, it looks really good. And the only thing I lost was skitter bots, which isn't too bad. And then, yeah, we're pumping out some solid damage with actual realistic items that I already have. And the chest plate, I told you I can then Aisling Slam, and we could fix up some shit with the glove and the boots. And then I'd probably run Basalt, Granite, Quicksilver, and then like a Quartz Flask for phasing when I'm not cycloning. That's probably going to be what I run. And then Writhing Jar. And if you notice, we also have 1165 regen in the build, and this is without the extra gear that gives me extra life. We already have 1165 because we have so much regen picked on the skill tree, and then you also have the Stone Golem, and the Stone Golem, like I said, is 29, and it gets scaled with the Golem Commander on the skill tree. And so I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description below. Leave a link to the POB for you guys. Oh, I wasn't showing it. I have 1165 regen, and it's because of all the regen on the skill tree. So like Righteous Army, Sacrifice, I have this regen, this regen, this regen, so much regen. Okay, and then we also have the Golem Commander, and we're using the level 29 Stone Golem, and that adds 357 of the regen. So we shouldn't have, oh, and then you also get the increased recovery rate of life from this Bone Barrier, and you don't have to use the Bone Armor skill to get that. So this is really cool. I'm excited. I think this is going to be sick, and I hope it works out. And if the Herald of Purity doesn't give the 157% more physical damage to the Phantasms, like if we notice it doesn't feel like 30 million, for example, then my alternative I thought of was to run a stone golem in the 6th link instead, and then the stone golem, the stone golem can summon the Phantasm, and it can still apparently do 752,000, so we could reach like 10 million off of a stone golem, 800,000 if you level it up one more time. And then the stone golem, you wouldn't have to cyclone because you're not Herald of Purity, and it's just a golem build summoning Phantasms, and then the stone golem gets all the scaling that I did for the Herald of Purity, and we would also save the ring slots. You wouldn't have to run Circle of Guilt anymore. And so it changes a little bit, and obviously the mana reservation from the helmet would be away, so we'd gain a new enchant, and then a bunch of the mana reserve that I've done would be unnecessary because I won't have Herald of Purity in the build. So that wouldn't even be that bad, right? If you didn't want to run Herald of Purity and you don't want it, like if this doesn't work, we won't know until we try this, because we're gonna feel the difference. I can put in a stone golem, we'll see like 10 million damage, and then I can put in Herald of Purity and it should be massive difference. Like, we'll be able to feel this for sure. So it'll be a very good test. I can't wait to try this actually in game and stuff. But this is what I've put together for now, and I hope you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. The complex nitty-gritty of all the small little things I've min-maxed in this build to make this really solid. It looks extremely playable now, and I hope you guys like this. And now I'm gonna play today. We're gonna go farm some double corruptions. We're gonna Ashling slam some chest plates for some sick prefixes, and I'm really close to playing this build. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support, and thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon and the YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!